Good afternoon guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the second part of Dave's half a set winter golf challenge. That's what we're going to go with, long-winded. But obviously first three holes, Dave was 1 over par. We're now on to the hardest par 3 pretty much in Yorkshire, so it's playing 230 yards today, uphill. It's still pretty cold this morning, so as we know it's driver anyway for Dave.
I was thinking 8 iron, but you know.
On any day. We've got a nice flyover coming from the local geese. Last week we looked at some awkward lies, so hopefully you enjoyed that. We had a lot of good comments asking of different lies we're going to be looking at, so next week we'll also be doing some awkward lies and trying to do that. We're going to be looking at bunkers next week, all the different lies we get, whether it's plugged, whether it's a bare, hard pan, or a lot of sand and a lot of wet sand. So Dave's going to take us away now. We're going to play the next 3 holes. So we've got a par 3, a par 5 and a par 3. We're letting the birds cross before Dave kills one. And as for now, Dave, good routine, and let's keep it going. So lost your balance slightly.
It wasn't the best. I was sort of
went after it a little bit because you know it's a long hole, so you lost your balance forwards and it's gone left, but it's okay. So Dave, not your best shot there.
Nowhere near.
And like you said on the tee there, and as we were walking up, you wasn't comfortable over the shot, but instead of walking out, you just hit the shot anyway.
Yeah.
And something that happens to you quite regular and probably happens to most amateurs, instead of stepping out, taking that a little bit more time, hit a bad shot, score start to go up.
Yeah, for the sake of 30 seconds.
Correct, so the shot we've now got is from here, and we'll see the green is up there. So we've got 60 yards to the flag, which is a good effort on a par 3, some would say, but it is a long par 3. So from here, 60 yards, what are you thinking, Dave?
Sand iron.
So it would be a pretty full sand wedge.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
We're on an upslope here.
Alright, okay.
So interesting point Dave says there, he'd use a sand wedge, but one of the biggest things I see with amateur golf is not assessing the lie correctly. And Dave's thought the yardage, but he's not necessarily took the lie into account. So we're on an upslope, so that upslope turns your sand wedge into a lob wedge, which as we know, it's not a good club, but it launched too high and we won't have control. Even from this distance, I'm thinking of, if I was to throw the ball, what kind of flight would I need to get that ball close? So we'd want something with less loft. So here we know that Dave doesn't have his gap wedge, so we know he goes straight to a pitching wedge. So 60 yards, I would go pitching wedge. It's going to come in a lot more direct, and from there we should get a little bit of run, and it's a back pin, so we want that ball to potentially run up a little bit and give him the best chance of getting a 3. So pitching wedge, Dave?
Yep, okay. And it's a lie that's going this way, so I'm guessing it'll sort of move right in the air.
Very slightly, so the pin's back right, so we'll be aiming just left of the flag, so middle of the green is your line. Great looking shot. Perfect, so pin high, great shot there from Dave. Let's get up there and see if we can have a read. So just gone past pin high, Dave.
Yeah.
So again from here, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 5. Bit of a scuff. So around about 15 feet from the flag. So from that yardage again, if we talk tour average, it would only just be outside of that. So it's a good shot from where he is, and it gives Dave an outside chance at getting a par. So from a bad tee shot, because we've used the correct club and gone through the process of assessing the lie, Dave's now got an outside chance. So normal routine, Dave. So like we said in the last video, people ask about this. Dave's straddling his line to use aim point, get a feel of where the slope is, and you're allowed to do that. So now obviously with the rule changes, you're allowed to stand on your line, and that's why you see a lot more using it on tour. So what have you got it, Dave?
Well, it's almost straight.
Okay.
If anything, it's slightly from the right, but with there being a lot of dew on the green, it's going to move even less, I think.
Yep, so the dew on the ground won't move it much, so Dave's going to go straight at it.
If I don't pull it.
That is true. So we saw last week Dave hit a couple of pull putts. Again, with the dew we can start to get some feedback, so we might have to reassess, look at his numbers in the coming weeks.
Push.
So we started this week with a push. So again, very tentative there from Dave. It wasn't a committed stroke.
I don't know why either.
No, me neither. We're baffled. So again, take his time here. Good. So in the end, an easy 4. Unfortunately, the putt we gave himself for a par never scared anything, to be honest.
No, never up, never in, as I say.
I mean, even the geese are laughing at him, to be honest, with that putt. But we've got out of there. Not a great tee shot, but he's been able to get out there with a bogey. It is one of the hardest holes here at Waterfront. Dave can't. Oh, there they go again.
There again.
Dave can't reach the green unless it's a really good one, so it's a very tough hole. But it's about making sure we minimise the damage, move on to the next. We know we've got a par 5, so we're going to try and get down there and give ourselves a good chance at a birdie. Again, super drive Dave down the left side.
Yes.
So Dave stayed in the rough there. How's it lying?
It's lying okay. Last month when we had the lesson you taught me through, you said 5-iron, but I've not got a 5-iron today.
So we've not got 5-iron, but it is sat down. So Dave's there thinking, right, sat down, can't get the hybrid necessarily to it. It is wet and snaggy. So here we'd be looking at an iron. We know for Dave that brings his 6-iron into play.
Yep.
Even if that leaves him shorter, it's more likely that he's going to be in the fairway, and then it's easier to hit the green. So it's not always about the distance here, it's about making sure we're in the fairway and have the best shot in. So 6-iron. Again, here we can aim straight down the middle. So as we saw on the tee shot there, Dave used the right side of the tee box so he could aim down the left side in case he got his usual bit of fade.
Which I didn't.
It stayed straight on this occasion, but the trouble is all on the right side. As we saw off the tee, it's the trees. So we've stayed on the left hand side, we've opened the hole up, and now Dave can just get his 6-iron back into play down the middle, and hopefully we can get it on from there. Again, super strike Dave. Okay Dave, so what's it saying?
It's saying 140.
140, okay. So what would 140 normally be?
Well, 140, 145 would be probably about a 7-iron.
Okay, so 7. It'd normally be a 7-iron for Dave here. So we've got 8 or 6. So it is warming up slightly, and I'd say this plays a little bit shorter because the pin's at the front. Okay, and the miss here. Again, if we're just underneath the hole, that's probably better than being long because it's a downhill putt and the greens are pretty slick at the moment. So here I'm going to say for Dave, we're just going to go with a full 8-iron. So we're going to hit a full 8-iron as opposed to controlling a 6 because we've got a couple of bunkers to go over. If Dave plays a fiddly one, if he gets any missed strikes, he could go in the bunker. So a full 8-iron.
Yeah, I would have always thought you'd have gone up the club with it being winter time.
Yeah, so like Dave says there, normally you'd think he'd go a little bit extra club, but it's warming up now. We've got some apron at the front of the green and we know it's going to get a relatively good bounce on there. So straight at the flag, Dave. Next strike, Dave.
Thank you.
Very good. Just front right, left ourselves an uphill putt. So you've hit it pin high there, so it's a good shot in with an 8-iron, so it was the right club. We can see that it's pitched short and it's ran up. Obviously you've just gone through your green reading process, so what have you got this?
I've got it moving from right to left 2.
Right to left at 2, so perfect. Let's bring your putter in now. So guys, when you obviously winter rules, it is off the green, so Dave can line this up. So he can obviously mark it, he can then line it up and take his time.
Ooh, I tell you what.
Great putt, Dave, great effort. We'll even give you that one.
Thank you.
So Dave, 6 hole here, par 3. What are we talking?
147 to the pin.
147 to the pin. So in this weather, let's call it 150. The wind's died down now, so again it's not too warm this morning, hence why the woolly hat's still on. So 150, what would that normally be?
Probably a hard 6.
A hard
no,
6?
Maybe just a 6. Yeah.
Just a normal 6. So on the last he said his 7-iron goes between 140 and 145. So a 6-iron should get us there. So just like before, we're going to use the tee to our advantage at the right hand side and aim for the left centre of the green. We'll talk a good game. It's now down to Dave. So great shot there from Dave. Just leaked slightly right,
Yep.
but that's on the right side of the green, so we've got a putt. So because we started that ball left for Dave, it turned a little bit more than we thought, but it's still on the green, it's just hung on to the right side. So Dave, right club, so it was just a steady 6-iron, and like we say, we started it left centre and it actually turned a bit more than we thought, but like we've just discussed, just when your sequence gets a little bit out of source, it leaves the club open. So here, we're just off the green. What are you thinking? Are you thinking putter or are you thinking hybrid?
Putter.
Perfect, putter. And this is one a lot of people ask, when should I use it and when shouldn't I? We've only got 2 feet of fringe to go through, so putter is going to be more consistent. If on the other hand we was just into this semi, we'd then look at using the hybrid for the same kind of shot and playing it exactly the same. So putter, Dave, and as we know, we can mark, clean, place and line up. So full process.
Yet another 2.
Another 2.
Right
Okay.
to left.
Good. Good routine. In now.
Never moved.
Never moved, so stayed exactly straight.
Bad read.
Didn't move at all. Pace wasn't too bad, but it's just stayed right. So we've got a 3-footer left for par. So that's been part 2, Dave. So again, another good 3 holes. Obviously 1 over again.
Yep.
So first 3 holes we was 1 over, second 3 1 over, so we're 2 over after 6. And you'd expect that from these 3 holes. You know, we've got a long par 3 to start with, 230 yards. You saw in the end we made a good bogey.
Yeah.
We took our medicine, got out there, gave ourselves a chance, but got out of there. And then on the next 2, we've had chances at birdies, but we've got out with solid pars, no real drama, no real hard work.
Yeah.
And this is all with half a set of golf clubs, so we've had to think about a few more shots and start to play different shots, but not too much. And it's surprising when you only bring half a set of clubs how easy it can be.
Yeah. It's thinking what you can do with the few clubs that you've got, rather than just going thinking it's a certain distance and I always hit that iron a certain distance.
Yeah.
It's, do you go for the higher club or the lower club, and etc.
Yeah, and we've not got much wind out here today, so when Dave gets in between, he's really got to manufacture a shot, be able to potentially either shape a shot or take a little bit off. And shaping something that we will get to, because all amateurs want to know pretty much how to shape a shot when they need to. They shape it anyway without wanting to.
I can shape them, it's just knowing when.
Yeah,
and
not
how.
on demand. So very good there. So 6 holes in, we're 2 over par.
Yep.
Final 3 to play, 3 par 4s to finish. Next week, like we said earlier in the video, we're going to be looking at some more awkward lies next week. So we've done the bunker theme, so we've got different lies out of bunker, a plug bunker, a bare pan, and something that might be fluffy sand but very wet, and what we're going to do, what we change, potentially what clubs we'll use from that.
And
so
the fact that I'm playing those with half a set.
correct, and he's playing those with half a set, so it really makes him have to play shots that maybe he wouldn't do as a normal. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and as for now guys, we'll carry on playing the next 3 ready for you in a couple of weeks, and we'll see you next week.
See you soon.